Now, Elon Musk has told Twitter staff that they must commit to working long hours at high intensity or else leave the company. Workers have been told that they needed to click on a link by Thursday evening if they want to be part of the new Twitter, as he put it. Well, let's go live to Glasgow now. Our technology editor, Zoe Kleiman, is there. Quite a statement, Zoe. What has he got to add? I mean, where's the incentive?
Well, what we know is that Elon Musk is a workaholic. You know, he says, by his own admission, he works hundreds of hours. He is very, very dedicated to his job. He said in a recent court case that he works all of the time, and he has very high expectations of his staff as well. Let's not forget that after the lockdowns, he was one of the first bosses to order his staff to get back into the office at Tesla, which is his other company. What's kind of interesting, I think, is that he might be looking to China here. China has a working rule which is called 996, and it's basically 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days a week. Now, it's not very popular, as you can probably imagine, and it certainly doesn't really fly in the West, but it is an interesting work ethic. And, you know, China, as we know, has a very, very thriving tech sector. He's expecting a lot. He's saying to people, if you don't want to come along for this ride, we'll give you 3 months severance pay. This is your moment to leave, which is, I suppose, giving people a reasonable way out. But it's a clear sign that working at Twitter is going to be a very different experience, perhaps, to what staff that are still there might have been used to under the previous regime.
Yeah, and I suppose the staff may accept, look, we're losing money, we've got to do something about that. But there could be a lot of people saying, you know what, I'll take the money and I'm out of here. That would cost an awful lot of money.
I think what we need to look at is what happens next with the tech sector. You know, as we're seeing, there's a lot of layoffs going on. There's a lot of unsettled companies. There's a lot of people pulling in their belts at the moment and sort of saying, you know, we need to lay off people. There needs to be less money. But what you've got to bear in mind about Silicon Valley is it is a pool of talent. It is a pool of very, very smart people, and they're not going to sit around doing nothing for very long. And I spoke to somebody recently who lives there and has lived there his whole life, and he said the way to look at it is to look at the coffee shops. Are the coffee shops empty? He says, no, they're not. They're full of people huddled, talking, coming up with new ideas. You know, we might now see a time of big change for the tech giants, but we might also see a time of opportunity for smaller, newer startups to come along.
Zoe, it's one of the great sagas of the moment, isn't it? Thanks very much indeed for bringing us right up to date. Thursday deadline not far away now.